Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Blaze casting presentation. Bring you guys a game between TD, aka Tower Defense, up against Genesis in this SECS 18.3. This will be pretty fun action coming on out, but TD, if you guys don't know, it is formerly the team Smiley Face. They have lost, I believe, just one member, but have a stand-in for the time being, Incarnate, to fill in here, so we'll see how that works out for them with their new player. But in general, I've followed Team Smiley Face quite a bit, and they have a lot to show, especially Oathkeeper. He is their solo mid player, and he adds a lot to the lineup. I really like what he's done with the team, and he's done for the team. Just in general, he creates a very dynamic action going on through. But jumping on into the draft, we do have Batrider and Magnus banned out, as well as the Undying and the Templar Assassin. So pretty early bans. People know what they don't want to have to deal with, and then just take them off the board so they don't have to deal with them. But the first pickup coming on out, Darkseer. Haven't seen him in a while, so that'll be pretty awesome. Not for lack of his awesomeness, as he generally just gets banned out pretty early on. But taking off the Magnus and the Batrider means the Darkseer is going to be available for a first pick, so we'll be looking for a Darkseer Enigma or Darkseer Fen. Just kind of going for an AoE cluster lineup, because that's what Darkseer specializes in. He has that vacuum, pulling the opposition into unfavorably a very close cluster of location, which will, in close proximity, do a lot of AoE damage, or make them susceptible to it at the very least. But he also has quite a bit of damage of its own, with the Iron Shell damage over time, and with the Wall of Replica, which will just deliver a lot of hurt, turning the enemy's stats pretty much right back against them, with those illusions popping on out. But along with that, Rubik and Queen of Pain will be picked up, the Fade Bolt doing a nice amount of chain AoE damage, the Telekinesis doing a good AoE stun after a little bit of delay, and of course the Queen of Pain, who delivers a lot of Scream and Sonic Wave action. So I have seen Oathkeeper pick up a lot of Rubik, but I presume he will be playing the Queen of Pain under these circumstances, leaving the Rubik to either Sauce or Pickles. But one way or another, they'll be running that, most likely with the Darkseer on the Suicide lane. Then we have up on Genesis, they have drafted up for themselves a Jakiro and a Bounty Hunter. Was very, very favorable for them in their last... Actually, they didn't have the Jakiro. The enemy had the Jakiro, but it still worked out pretty well for that Bounty Hunter. Was picked up by Jing, and he did a really good job of it. Played 1v1 versus the Sven. Was actually a lot easier lane than he expected it to be, because obviously he's generally susceptible to being placed in a 1v3 circumstance. So going up 1v1, no problem. He was very, very aggressive and was able to put out a lot of damage, was able to track up a lot on the team fights, actually get a quick Midas, and really generate a lot of revenue for him early on. But they're going to pick up their carry as their number 3 pick, the Luna, coming on out, and they have the option to ban any substantial counters, but it's kind of hard to find some. I mean, the Fade Bolt does reduce her glaives damage by quite a bit, because it reduces the initial damage, and then it keeps on reducing over. Anyways, but other than that, there's possibilities of, like, disables that pierce through BKB, so like a Beastmaster could be a good pickup to go up against her, or again, that Enigma is probably going to be a definite ban based on the fact they have that Darkseer and don't want to have to deal with that AoE disable. So that will be what they are going to be taking off the board for sure, as well as probably some other AoE synergizers, possibly like the Leshrac. The Lena was picked up last time around, that kind of thing. So we'll have to see. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll get on going in just a second. Okay. Alright, so the band's coming on out. We do have the Leshrac taken off the board. Figured that would be the case. Along with that, we have the Night Stalker and the Puck taken on out. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't expect the Night Stalker or Puck being banned, but I mean, it's still powerful mid-heroes that they don't want to have to deal with. I mean, the fact of the matter is Genesis has a laning situation where they're off-lane cover with the Bounty Hunter. They have their primary tri-lane set up with Jakiro support and Luna carry, so they're going to be looking for one more support, possibly a jungler, to coordinate with that Jakiro and Luna, and they're going to be looking for a solo mid. So they've taken off 3 powerful mid-heroes. They've taken out the Night Stalker, the Puck, and the Gyrocopter. The Templar Assassin was banned out early on, so they don't have to worry about that. And along with that, they have the Queen of Pain for themselves, as well as the Rubik. So yeah, taking off mid-heroes right now was actually a really, really good way to ban out, because the Genesis have really slim pickings right now. I mean, there's so many heroes in the pool that they will still always have a good option for solo mid, but it might not be the one they wanted. Maybe one they haven't practiced as much, maybe one that they don't have as much experience with synergizing with their current team lineup, that kind of thing, as well as just not being as effective at bringing down the heroes they're kind of looking at. I mean, like, Bloodseeker's great at Rupture and Queen of Pain, but other than that, he doesn't add much to a team lineup, so just as an example. But going on through, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Blaze Casting, upcoming Dota 2 caster for in-houses and tournaments for amateur play, but they didn't ban out the Enigma. Sorry, I kind of got sidetracked a little bit with why the solo mids were getting banned out, but Leshrac and Sven, smart bans based on the fact that they don't want to have to worry about Darkseer synergizing with them directly, but the fact of the matter is Enigma's still in the pool, and he will be picked up, which adds so much destructive power. They only need one really good AoE hero. With the Gyrocopter and Luna, as well as the Sven off the board, most of the big AoE heroes are out, but the Shadow Fiend is still on the board, and I almost guarantee that's what TD is going to be looking to pick up. Darkseer, Enigma, Shadow Fiend is such a good AoE combo, and even if Luna has the BKB, if she's the last woman standing, it's not really going to do too much to inhibit tower defenses. They want to bring down the rest of their line. So, like, I would seriously bet money that Shadow Fiend is the guaranteed pick coming out through, but Genesis surprising me a little bit with the Warlock, so that's going to be an interesting pickup. The best part about Warlock, I would say, in this circumstance is the fact that the Golem is very long range and can interrupt Enigma's channel. Can interrupt the black hole based on the fact that it pierces through Magic Mini with that initial stun. It's only a 1 second stun, but again, it is a very long range ability, so the Warlock can stay out of the fight and wait for that the Enigma with or without BKB to try to make something happen and completely interrupt him as soon as possible. But other than that, really the other abilities are acceptable, but I don't know if it's going to be anything really effective in like a tri-lane or something. They have the Shadow Word to heal or damage over time, as well they also have the Fatal Bonds, which will allow Jakiro with a Macropyre and the Luna with her glaives to do a heck of a lot of damage, bouncing around and redistributing that damage amongst themselves. Just really feel the hit of every single piece of AoE damage, as well as quite a bit of single target. But tower defense, if I had, then I would be losing a little bit of cash here, because obviously they did not pick up the Shadow Fiend. They went for the Naga Siren, so kind of surprised. But it kind of seems like a reasonable pickup based on the fact that you can't, although the vacuum will be very effective, the fact of the matter is you cannot rely on the black hole if a Warlock's on the board. And if you can't rely on the black hole, maybe a Requiem on top of all of your opposition isn't going to be the best option. So they go with the Naga Siren, just a little bit more setup. Pretty much what it does, Naga Siren starts off with the Song of Siren, finds a decent position for Enigma to pull in, let's say, 3 different heroes, starts the black hole, let's say half a millisecond, or, wow, that's a very short time, half a second before the song ends. Then the Enigma has a black hole going. Darkseer vacuums anybody that was outside of it into it, so that you can catch almost 5 people in a black hole, including the Warlock, hopefully, and with that Queen of Pain can just go to town with her Scream, Sonic Waves, and the Fade Bolt from Rubik, as well as possibly a spell stolen, let's say, Golem from the Warlock, and that could be very, very awesome. But on the other hand, nice counter pick coming out from Genesis, the Nyx Assassin. One thing that the Nyx can do, if he is not caught out by the black hole that comes right after the Song of the Siren, then he can just spam his hotkey for the Spike Carapace. With that, the stun will come out on the Enigma. You cannot just black hole somebody who has a Carapace active. You will get stunned immediately. So that's kind of a nice counter pick. However, if Pickles and Incarnate synergize appropriately, they can actually put the black holes on the Nyx Assassin during the song, so that he can actually have 0 seconds to pop that off. So it'll be an interesting to see how that dynamic works. But going on into the game itself, I'll give you guys the player lineup, and then we'll go on into the game, of course. So starting things off, we do have on Medic picking up the Jakiro, Zhao Yun picking up the Luna. Now we have Chingu this time around on the Nyx Assassin. Looks like he's going for the middle lane. And it's going to be Warlock, played by the stand-in, the Capitalist. Once again, Jing is going to pick up that Bounty Hunter, going for the bottom lane. Same items as before with that Quelling Blade and Stout Shield, but this time around he might have a little bit more difficulty, as it's more likely that Darkseer will be going up for the top, as Pickles wants to farm up in this jungle here. So Oathkeeper is going to be going for the solo mid, but it's going to be, Sauce, and is it going to be like it's going to be Sauce and Incarnate on the bottom lane, with Enigma in the jungle for a 2.5 setup, and with that, Robot will be going on the solo off lane there. So it's going to be a 1 versus 3 tri-lane setup here, nothing aggressive, and with that, Zhao Yun and Incarnate should be getting plenty of farm to start things off, but we'll have to see how that works out for them. Right now, an aggressive ward coming out from the Dire, giving good, nice vision from in this vector here, as well as some of the river, so that'll, obviously, the site doesn't curve, but that's irrelevant for this circumstance. Anyways, Chingu starting off with a rather conservative build, starting off with the Stout Shield. Make sure that he won't get as harassed out by Queen of Pain, Oathkeeper, But he won't be getting his bottle nearly as swiftly. He actually almost has to farm up the full bottle rather than saving it up. Oathkeeper, however, has at least 200 gold in the bank, so just getting a couple last hits, possibly through Scream, will allow the Queen of Pain to get her bottle relatively quickly, and that'll be rather effective. Now I'm curious if Queen of Pain will go for a Shadow Strike build, which is generally more effective against the Nyx who goes Carapace early, or if he's going to go for the Scream and just want to teamfight rather effectively once he starts ganking. But one thing to keep in mind is that Nyx Assassin, really good against int heroes and solo mid in general, so the more intellect Oathkeeper has, especially with that mantle, will do that much more mana burn damage when he decides to pop that ability off, which he probably should at any time because it is long cooldown, and yeah, no big deal. But anyways, as far as the lane setup goes, it's really going to be, like I said, less action, more just farming and trying to make things happen here. See some stacks coming out from Sauce. He's going to be pulling that up, no problem at all, because unfortunately Bounty Hunter did not bring any wards to the party. So both teams are actually going to be able to get their stacks off, and with that, they're going to be able to deny quite a bit of experience. Warlock's Upheaval as sort of a counter to Black Hole. I can't really see that being as effective. I mean, you can just interrupt the Black Hole with a chaotic offering of the drop in the Golem, so I'm not sure why Upheaval would be the best benefit. Once their stuns have flown out, I definitely think Upheaval dropping in teamfight will generally inhibit anybody that's not surged up by the Darkseer, but as far as using it in the teamfight, I don't know. It'll give good opportunity for Jakiro to do a lot of damage with Macropyre and Dual Breath and etc. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be the game breaker compared to Black Hole, obviously being probably the most game breaking ultimate if you cannot counter it. Pickle's farming up the jungle with ease, dropping off those Eidolons and just skilling up like that, but actually loses a clarity, getting stomped up by the Centaur. A little bit of misplay there, takes a little bit of damage and loses about a third of a clarity. I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but you can tell that he doesn't have his Eidolons for this next conversion, so he'll have to bring down this Centaur with pure manpower as he progresses to the next creep camp. But he will be getting a soul ring in no time at all. There it is, and with that he won't have any difficulty at all finishing the work in the jungle. And Enigma is actually one of the faster jungler clearers. He can burn down the jungle creeps extremely quickly with those conversions and get a lot of gold to pick up, like let's say a Blink Dagger or a Mechanism. So whatever he ends up picking up is going to be very, very powerful for his team, as it's just a lot of gold on hand. But Darkseer, unfortunately, Robot getting zoned out very effectively by Medic, has this Observer Ward, knows where he is at all times, and with that, has been just pushing him back. Every time he wants to come for the creep wave, he doesn't have that option. Good creep equilibrium control by Capitalist, as he has been stacking and pulling. And this is actually nowadays a lot harder of a pull to get. You pull it back over to this position after you've already pulled them to the pull camp, but the fact of the matter is with the reduced leash time, you have to pretty much be within 1 second of that timing and be very, very precise about it. Otherwise it's not going to work out for you. But nevertheless, Capitalist has gotten that off, gets a little bit an extra level up from that neutral camp. And one of the coolest things I'm seeing from the Capitalist right here is the fact that he hasn't put a single skill point in just yet. So many different skill builds. You can go for like a 2 here and 1 in the Fatal Bonds. That's great, but also you see some stat builds, you see some upheaval builds, plenty of different options there, but he decides to be conservative and wait until his until level 3 to bother putting any in, because he knows he doesn't need them, and he had no use for them until that point in time. Technically he doesn't have any use now, but now that he's made it safely to level 3, he can feel comfortable transitioning into a Shadow Word Golem build. But moving on forward, it's actually Bounty Hunter's not doing too bad, comparatively speaking, as far as experience goes. If you actually look at the experience per minute, 213 on this offlane Jing, compared to the Darkseer, who has, you know, an amazing experience per minute of 12. So he's not doing very well at all. He's not even like a fifth of the way to, or a quarter of, he is a fifth of the way to level 2, but not where he wants to be at. And here comes Medic once more, just pushing him off that creep wave. The creep equilibrium is a little bit further up, but it's still enough that Robot will get harassed down. Probably have to pop a salve off just because of all this harass damage coming on through. So that's unfortunate for him. In the meantime, though, solo mid has been rather favorable for the Queen of Pain. Picked up the regeneration rune at the 2-minute mark. Now going to be looking for a 4-minute rune. Chingu, with his current last hits of 12, he does have his bottle en route, but it is delayed. I mean, it's the 4-minute. Yeah, he just got his bottle for the 4-minute rune, which generally you're looking for a bottle at the 2-minute rune. But anyways, the rune spawns on the bottom, so invisibility. Chingu's actually going to heal up to half mana and full health and be very happy for that. Actually, more than that. So very effective there. Pickles tried to actually deny the rune, which would have been really cool, but unfortunately didn't get the positioning on it, so it didn't work out for him. And now Chingu actually has a little bit of an advantage in this lane. The invisibility allows him to just stay mobile, get in. Oathkeeper will have to stay on his toes, and with that, a Shadow Strike. But with the mana burn and the fact that Oathkeeper is now down to 2 bottle ticks, he's going to have to watch himself. Yeah, I mean, Oathkeeper doesn't have the bottle. Now the Nyx Assassin does. And with that, he can just pretty much get a last hit here for free based on walking around invisible. And then after that, he will be able to go back up to half mana and full health. So again, that's a pretty good advantage for the time being. No real kill is going to happen out of it, but the fact of the matter is Oathkeeper is going to have to play a little bit more carefully until he gets that Bottle Crow up, if he can, because right now the Courier has been very active on bottom lane, making sure that the Naga Siren is getting what he needs, specifically a Trinkle Boots, so that he can pretty much 1v1 constantly. That allows the other support, which would be the Rubik, actually no, sorry, it was the Enigma. It allows Enigma to just completely focus on jungle farm and try to get as much GPM as possible to get some really good items. So I'm not sure if he has, yeah, he has a Buckler on the Courier already, so it's 803 plus the 300 some gold he already has, so that's a good amount of gold. You see the last hit's 39 jungle creeps, brings him a GPM of 302, and with that he'll be getting a mechanism in no time at all. And with that Trinkle Boots, he doesn't really have to gank the lane up to really create an advantage. But a lot of aggression coming out now. Jakiro with that rank 2 Liquid Fire built specifically for pushing. And with the Darkseer being able to do very, very little, he's doing the best he can, pulling the creeps back and ion shelling them down. But over time, this tower is going to take a lot of damage. Liquid Fire is such a great mechanic for pushing down towers. And with this salve, they're going to be looking to push it with the next wave, I believe. After this wave will be a Siege Creep wave. And that will be probably their ticket to bringing down the tower and getting a heck of a lot of gold for themselves, forcing Robot most likely into the jungle, as he's not even acquired his Soul Ring just yet. But now, as the 6-minute rune spawns, Oathkeeper will be picking up that top illusion rune, giving a bit of advantage to him against Chingu. Chingu's ultimate Vendetta costs 160 mana, and with that, he's going to be rather deprived until he can finish off the Arcane Boots. He's actually looking to Bottle Crow, just so he can have a full bottle. That way he can actually use some stuns after he comes out. But as I was saying, that top tower, it was short for life, counting its minutes, and with that it was dropped down. Luna getting the last hit on that, getting a lot of extra GPM out of it. Now we do see some TP action coming on out. I'm trying to see who actually managed to do that, but not a big deal. It looks like, I'm not sure. It looks like Jakiro transitioned down the bottom line to help Jing out, try to keep this tower alive, because TD is trying to do the exact same thing. They're pushing down on this tier 1 tower. And right now, that's not something they want to have happen. They don't want a 1-for-1 trade on towers. They want to have a gold advantage. Right now, they were a little bit. That's just a really wonky graph. Pretty much, the Radiant had a gold advantage because of the Enigma farming jungle so rapidly until the tower kill happened, and then it was back in favor of the Dire, but only for so long. A little bit of a skirmish between the two here in solo mid. Again, that Queen of Pain, her Scream, is really effective against targets other than Nyx, but if Nyx has the right reaction, she can just spike Carapace it and send the damage right back at the Quap. Now, 30 seconds before the next rune spawns, and that's going to be a really big deal, but meanwhile, bottom lane had been pushed down by Eidolons, and with that, they were able to actually get the last hit on it. Now, I'm not kind of surprised that they didn't counter-initiate on it based on the fact that they were so extended to the north, but they didn't have the golems to really work with it. Now, Rubik does not get the telekinesis off onto the Warlock, so Ice Path will come out, as well as Shadow Word and the Fatal Bonds to do a heck of a lot of damage, but it's really not going to come to too much. It's really most of the action is going to be coming from onto Pickles. The track is available on him, and so they're going to have to actually pop off a salve just to make sure that he stays alive, stays active in the skirmishes there. But Jing just gonna run around and Shadow Walk. It's still rank 1, short duration, and he's on low mana, so he's gonna have to fall back. But in the meantime, that forced Queen of Pain to transition towards the bottom lane. Again, still 0-0, so this next kill, wherever it may be, is going to be first blood, and that makes a really big deal. But unfortunately for Chingu, Queen of Pain just happened to, who went down to bottom lane, happened to walk right on top of where the rune spawned at the 8 minutes. She got the regeneration, and now she has so much mana to work with. She has pretty much like 2.5 full mana bars to work with right now, and that's really, really big. Warlock poured back up towards the top lane, trying to make sure that Darkseer gets zoned out as much as he had been prior. He has gotten a little bit of experience compared to where he was sitting at before, actually doing better than some supports, but here may come the first blood. Last auto attack after the mana burn will do it. Chingu will catch him out with that Vendetta, doing a nice burst of damage, and although Darkseer has a decent amount of base armor, 27% physical damage reduction, Chingu was able to catch him on low enough life with that Soul Ring usage. He had the Soul Ring, I believe. Yeah, so he was using the Soul Ring, dropping his health low enough, and Chingu was able to catch him off because there are no wards on the map for the time being. So that is finally first blood has been spilled, and that's really good momentum for Nyx Assassin. He has his Arcane Boots now, and he can be looking out, now that he has Magic Wand, Arcanes, and Bottle, he can be looking for a more effective item towards his core, like a Necronomicon or a Dagon. So we'll see how he wants to build that, but one way or another, nice action for him to get that kill. Those appearance picked up by Oathkeeper, who wants to make sure that the Vendetta won't be automatic escape for the Nyx Assassin, wasting a little bit of Impale with that blink, kind of juking it out, but now they have the Bounty Hunter roaming around. Jing wants to get some tracks. Obviously, there's only one kill on the board, and he was not a part of it, so no tracks just yet, and he wants to take advantage of this hero. I mean, like I said last game, 1-for-1 exchanges is all they need to stay on the ball here, and they definitely can. Bring people down. Pickle's coming in towards mid lane. Wants to push it up with some Eidolons, has that Soul Ring, and the Buckler in a few seconds there. Buckler, actually no, the Mechanism, just got it from the Courier, awesome. I was going to say the Buckler kind of replaces the need for a Ring of Basilius, because it gives a +2 armor. I mean, they can supplement one another, but it's still quite a bit of extra physical damage mitigation, which allows you to push that much more with your creeps. But they have that full rank 3 demonic conversion and that mechanism available, so they can easily take this tower, no problem at all. The Jakiro's an amazing counter pusher, but with that many points spent in liquid fire, I don't think he can hold the line here. 4 versus 1 especially. So this tower is going to fall. He might be looking for a deny. Nope, not going to bother with it. It's going to be Queen of Pain that finishes the job there. Gets a little bit of gold on their hands, and now they're going to be looking to gank up in the jungle. With this tier 1 down, they can ward in the jungle aggressively, find some good ways to open up, and get some easy kills. They actually were able to pick off the Jakiro there. Sorry about that, did not catch it, but I presume it involved a telekinesis and a Malefice stun. Just so much, I mean, 3 instances of stun coming out of Malefice. Jakiro really doesn't have much more than an Ice Path that he can throw out in response to that. So yeah, he did drop down there, and that's going to be 1 kill on the board for them. But also the Naga Siren got picked off. Holy crap, I've been talking about mechanics, talking about push, talking about mid-game, and with that, I've missed 2 pickoffs there. So Incarnate got picked off on bottom lane, specifically by the Nyx Assassin, but that's exactly what Nyx does. He roams around, he finds his openings, he gets some burst damage off unexpectedly, and brings people down. So they're going to have to get some sentry wards off, or TD is going to have a lot of trouble dealing with this Nyx as he continues to get a huge level advantage. 425 experience per minute. The highest that Radiant have is 386. So with that, he is top dog for levels equivalent right now at level 9, but as soon as he hits level 11, he's going to be delivering a world of hurt to the opposition, and that's obviously not something they want to have to deal with. So they're going to continue pushing. They're going to try to group up together. That's what you need to do against a Bounty Hunter Nyx Assassin. Otherwise, you're going to get picked off way too frequently. So they're looking to push down on this tower as a group, but now Track has gone on through Robot, only sitting at level 6. Now Nyx Assassin comes in from the back end, completely immediately bursts down the Rubik, but with the Eclipse coming on through, Enigma will also be forfeit. So finding them out in a poor position of people to try to slow up Darkseer. He does pop off the vacuum to prevent the upheaval, but he does drop down in the end to nice action from the Lucent Beam and other such things. So in the end, that's 3 for 0. Really, really good for the Dire right there. Genesis just coordinating exactly as they need to, and even though they're doing like a 3-4 man push, knowing exactly when they need to transition and do some 5-man Dota, and really capitalizing on the fact that the enemy really wanted those towers. So with that, they were able to pick up some kills, and Luna was able to get quite a bit of farm. She's sitting at 82 last hits right now, and she is also now has 3 assists. So with that, her GPM must be through the roof. 422. Now she has something on the Courier. Should be a Yasha. Yep. Yasha will give her a lot more movement speed. She already has a really good amount of base movement speed. Now she currently has 385 based on the fact she has power treads, and with that, Yasha will be even more promising. So I'm looking forward to just how mobile she'll be when the track comes down, because she's just going to be all over the map, running really quickly and staying very aggressive. So very fast heroes allows you to just chase very effectively, run away very effectively, do whatever you need to in and out of combat. She's no Queen of Pain as far as that rank 4 blink, but she definitely has a lot of benefit just moving on around all over the place. Nyx Assassin, what's going on with him? Is he looking towards his level 11? He's only a third of the way there though, and needs to step it up a little bit if he wants to get that big rank 2 Vendetta to knock some people down. But that Illusion Rune can help with some nice burst damage, and he actually decided to go for the Urn of Shadows. It's very interesting. It's an HP removal item, so it does add a bit of extra damage to his combo, but it does extend over, I believe, 8 seconds. Yeah, duration of 8 seconds. So with that, it doesn't really complement his burst as effectively as he'd prefer, but it is just a really good, free, really cheap nuke to add to your composition, and of course it benefits from being involved in kills, which now he is looking for. He saw on the Dire ward, beautiful ward placement, that Sauce is walking around by himself. Now the Sentry ward has shown up, so Rubik can telekinesis him away, but if he can not get him on the cliff, he didn't get him on the cliff, so Nyx should be able to bring him down right here. A couple quick chops, pop the Illusion Rune, or just one more just auto attack, and that will be all he needs. Mega kill streak for him, but a Surge Oathkeeper wants to bring him down. He will pop off the Spike Carapace to get a nice duration stun, popping off some illusions to path block a little bit, and now his allies are close enough that he's not too concerned about this circumstance. Yeah, Robot wasting the vacuum, and yeah, no, it's 1 for 0. That's really what Genesis wants to keep on going. Quick pick off with the Bounty Hunter, and with this Nyx Assassin just running around ninjaing some free kills, and then Luna meanwhile the entire time farms. So if you keep the fear in your enemies, then they're gonna have a lack of potential to initiate on you in your jungle, and that's gonna give Yuna, if I could just formulate a sentence for a second, give Luna the opportunity to gank up, to farm up in the jungle. Wow, I just butchered all that. I need something to eat, but get that after this game. We're going to move on through and just look at how awesome Genesis has been coordinating their team fight thus far. But this Sentry Ward is very, very vital. It's pretty much going to stop Nyx Assassin from initiating on anybody in going in through this route here. So they're going to have to actually push down this tier 1 for Nyx to keep the action going. Otherwise, if he wants to gank on the jungle, he's going to have to go through this route here, which is not really what he wants. Another option would be for him to pick up a Smoke of Deceit, and he could definitely replace his Stout Shield with that. A lot of Arcane Boots being picked up, and with that they're going to be able to spam up a lot of spells. But right now Queen of Pain not doing so hot in the solo mid role. Her experience per minute is actually in the bottom half right now, 263. She's barely doing better than Robot, who was getting completely slaughtered as far as experience goes to start things off. But potential quick pick off on Luna. No, she popped off the Eclipse, and she will not outrange the Sonic Wave, just barely clips her. The last little Oscillation Wave will finish the job here. But Pickles, with that Ion Shell, will do a lot of damage with that Black Hole, but unfortunately that Warlock Golem comes on down, interrupts it, and now Turnaround comes on through. Impale going down on 2 heroes. They're going to pick up the Noctis Siren, looking for Robot. He doesn't have the Surge available, so Pickles bob back, TP'd in, and now with that Ice Path, they're going to still try to bring him down, but the Vacuum pulling in the Jakiro into the melee range of the Robot will bring him down. But now Jing was able to pick up a track kill on the Darkseer, but at the cost of his own life. Triple kill. He will take that to the bank and be perfectly happy with it, but all the same, it was not a clean exchange. They definitely lost a number of heroes for it. Popped off the Eclipse, so Luna still died on the back end, running for her life. And of course, the Jakiro getting pulled in underneath the tower, the Bounty Hunter diving, not really what they wanted to be. So Nyx Assassin did some positives from that. A lot of track gold on the field. Nyx Assassin got the level 11 to get his Vendetta going on through, and also Pickles was forced to buy back. So that's a lot of gold. Let's say a half a Blink Dagger that he had to waste there with that 500 bonus gold, and the fact that it cost him 300 gold to die in the first place. So 800 gold kill, not bad at all. And yeah, that took out a decent chunk of gold that he would have put towards a better item like Blink. Along those lines, Darkseer is just really looking to tank up a little bit more. He has gotten to level 8 finally, but he wants to get some Wall of Replica action out, but that just generally doesn't happen until level 10. In the meantime, though, Nyx Assassin looking to gank up right into Sauce's face, completely one-shots him, and just, oh wow, the Eclipse was stolen by Sauce. Tries to pop it off on the Nyx. He says, no sir, I will just Spike Carapace on through that, no big deal at all, and actually, might have actually killed Sauce with his own spell. But one way or another, they are going to take this tier 1 tower, which is really, really important for Nyx to keep his ganking momentum rolling. Like I said, with that Sentry Ward that was down here, if they refresh that, he cannot gank through that specific ramp area, but now he has the tier 1 mid area clear, and actually quick pick off on Enigma with the Impale going on through with the Ice Path. Chain stunning it up and bringing down the Enigma again, so he's not doing too well as far as gold goes, losing a lot of unreliable with each one of those deaths. Now Bounty Hunter will most likely drop. No, he actually goes down and TPs away. Jing just perfectly avoiding the enemy and not getting knocked down by that Ion Shell. So was a clean kill, and now Oathkeeper is just trying to get away. He has, whoa, just barely enough damage. The Vendetta just came off cooldown recently. He was able to stun up for 2.4 full seconds with the Spike Carapace due to the fact that Queen of Pain had the Shadow Strike on him. So he chained up his Impale with the Carapace stun, and from there had just enough time to get that last hit out with that Vendetta. So nice action there. Really, really love that play. And Chingu, moving on the way to be my MVP for this game. He just has been active in so many kills. Actually, out of the 13 kills, he's been part of 11 of them, and most of them are solo kills. So he has been all over the place, getting a ton of experience, looking for his level 16, and now transitioning for a rank 1 Necronomicon for a lot of really good damage over time. A lot of people like Dagon, and Dagon 1 is certainly a synergetic complement to his spell set, but it tapers off after that initial burst. If you have a teamfight that lasts longer than 10 seconds, that Dagon only helps out that one little quick part of it where you use it. With that in mind, it does mean that Nyx Assassin picking up that Necronomicon will give them a lot more potential damage over time, not only with the fact that Necro Minions do so much by themselves with auto attack damage and that mana burn utility, but also they have the aura, which helps out your allies, giving increased movement speed and attack speed, so that helps out quite a bit too. But one thing to keep in mind is Naga Siren has been farming up quite a bit. She only has 2 deaths, and that is quite a bit for Naga Siren, since Song of Siren is practically a get out of jail free card. However, she has managed to get 127 last hit, so Incarnate now with Radiance and Riptide rolling on through, he's doing a lot of damage over time, can farm up very quickly, and with that he can use these illusions, and he can just send the illusions forward and split push with them. He doesn't even have to worry about getting ganked over the Nyx Assassin. He could be sitting in his base and farming jungle, just because that Radiance does so much damage over time, and those illusions will make sure that that is always active on them. But in the meantime, Luna getting quite a bit of farm of her own. This ancient camp has been stacked up quite a few times with this Centaur that she had dominated a long time ago. And although I forgot to mention it, and sorry about that, you can definitely see the advantage of it now, with her GPM just skyrocketing up with all these ancient last hits. Now, the Eidolon's kind of crashing the party. They see what's going on here, but I don't think they've sniped a single last hit, and with that they're just trying to scare Luna off. Now only one ancient black dragon remains, and honestly, if they lose that dragon, it's the least of the issue. That is 217 gold that did go to Enigma. Great for him, but you know, Luna got what he needed. He has his Manta style. Now he can be looking for a BKB or whatever he really feels like. Alright, looks like Pipe of Insight is the item of choice for Darkseer, but he doesn't even have his hood yet, based on just the lack of farm he's generally gotten throughout the game, which was rather surprising. He just got zoned out so well by the Jakiro medic. But he will eventually get his hood, and with that become a lot more durable in general with some magic damage mitigation. Along with that, he will later on get the Pipe, which will reduce a lot of the damage that will be received by the Warlock Golem, the Eclipse, the Macropyre, and the Impale Mana Burn coming out of the Nyx Assassin. I think that's magic damage. I believe it is, yep. But along with that, there is a smoke popped off on Warlock, and on Jakiro they are looking to go aggressive. They have control over the runes on the bottom, or wards on the bottom rune. They see the Radiance. That is the real one right there. Incarnate is caught out, and now he will try to put up a trap, but here comes the Bounty Hunter, and he is going to get tracked up and brought down. Jakiro taking the last hit on that, but Bounty Hunter getting a very nice amount of gold himself, 200 bonus gold. But here is some initiation here. Pickles does not have mana for the black hole unless he wants to pop off his soul ring, which does not seem to be an option. So Eclipse will go on through, will burn down both the Enigma and the Darkseer for a 3-for-0 swing, as the Dire were not only able to initiate on the Naga Siren, but also able to counter-initiate on the Team TD on the western half. So good action there, and yeah, Genesis just on the ball right here. They have, I would say, the harder carry, with the fact that Luna just scales so well, and unless they can chain up some black holes on her to disable her in a very short while, they're going to have a hard time dealing with this, as she's gotten so much gold, has broken that 10,000 net worth value, and although it's only 3 heroes that are at the top, the supports are very low on money. They're doing fine enough with their KD, and you can just see the gold graph plummet down with all those track kills, with just that 3-0 swing. 16-5, have the tower advantage, have the track advantage, and of course just been farming away with that Luna. So although the Radiance is something to keep in mind and not count out, it's still a lot of gold going their direction, and the experience graph tells a very similar story. So even though these haven't been, one thing to mention is this game has been extremely even all throughout. Until this point in time, they've been barely over 1,000 gold advantage. Pretty much they haven't been over 1,000 gold on either team until this point. Now they're dropping down to almost 4,000 gold, but until that 20-minute mark, they've been almost completely neck and neck. So it's been a very close game in general, but again, the scalability of that Naga Siren, you cannot discount it, because scalability of Luna with those Moonglaves and with the static damage bonus of the 38 from Lunar Blessing. As well, her Eclipse is going to hit level 16, rank 3 pretty soon, and with that she can do a heck of a lot of damage. But Sentry Ward has been counter-warded effectively, and now they're actually going to be looking to possibly burn down this Observer Ward as well. But they do have the track up on one hero, the Rubik, and with that they know exactly the positioning of the enemy, allowing Genesis to use that Necro Minions, rank 2, to finish off the job on Darkseer, picking him off. He doesn't have the Wall of Replica yet for some reason, and now they're looking to kind of use that combination. Song of Siren finally comes out. Queen of Pain does get a nice little pickup on Nyx Assassin. He didn't have his Carapace available, just based on the fact that there's a 14-second cooldown, so that was unfortunate for him, but now Soth gets picked off. Track kill from the Bounty Hunter, Janatoing it up, and that's really nice there. Along with that, they might be looking for Incarnate. He doesn't have enough. He has enough mana for one more track, and with Drum, he has quite a bit of movement speed. But he instead pops off the Shadow Walk, trying to burn down Pickles or Oathkeeper. If he had gotten in melee range of Oathkeeper, which he did have vision of based on Enigma's track, he could have brought him down. But unfortunately, just a little bit too slow. I think he honestly should have popped the Drum phase and then Shadow Walked like right before he got there, and could have gotten a big crit off. But unfortunately, he just didn't. Wasn't mobile enough because he didn't pop off those abilities. Pop off those items. And Queen of Pain, of course, possibly could have blinked out the entire time, so whatever. In the end, though, they're looking for a Tier 2 tower. They did lose their Nyx Assassin finally. I mean, that was a killing spree of dominating, given to the Naga Siren for 426, but unless she can pull out some real big items out, it's going to be difficult. She's going to be looking for the Heart in no time at all, but Luna gets the last hit on the tower, and a few auto-attack harass of Glaives coming on through to burn them down now. And now immediately Luna just teleports back up top, and Zhao Yun, looking to just destroy and demolish this creep wave. His net worth is now well over 13,000, and his last hits is finally broken 200, so farming, and getting a lot of benefit from it. Now he has just now received his rank 3 Eclipse, and that's going to be really, really good for any kind of team fight outside of the lane. Along with that, Jing has had his BKB for some time now, but hasn't yet had a need to pop it. He just hasn't been in a position where he's like, oh crap, I'm completely locked down by disables and magic damage. So he's just going to hang on to that until he needs it. However, a couple things to keep in mind is Sauce has been on the ball with rune control in general, with the wards. He generally sentries whenever he needs to make sure that they can't just walk into their base and knock somebody out with that Nyx. Now, the Dire still have this ward in the Radiant Jungle, but at least they have understanding. Even if Nyx knows where they are. Oh wow, Eclipse BKB. Oh, Pickles is completely screwed up. Oh wait, no, there's enough damage distributed amongst the Eclipse that he won't get dropped down until the black hole ends. But even a full duration black hole, and he's still going to get 2 kills out of it, I believe. Oh, just one more Lucent Beam will finish off the Darkseer. He gets 2 kills. Naga Siren finally coming on in. We'll look for the Ensnare, but will not manage it. And that's 1v4 in a black hole, and Zhao Yun was able to bring down 2 people without losing the Aegis the Immortal. Wow, he's got to feel good about that. That's just so strong right now. His strength, his armor. He has 19 armor and 1,400 max health, so he had just enough to survive on through it. The damage just isn't there, even with the disables, and it's just really unfortunate for them. And I would definitely attribute that to Queen of Pain not popping off the Sonic Wave, but even then it wouldn't have netted them the Aegis. So that's a Tier 2 that's fallen, and the gold graph is now plummeting in favor of Team Genesis, and this is their time to shine. This is their time to get aggressive. The BKB is on cooldown for 20 seconds, but as soon as that comes up, they'll be fearless. And even then, the Aegis the Immortal. The telekinesis does come back up. Zhao Yun pulled back in, Malefist up, nice force stab to pull him out, but the ensnare is there. Eclipse stolen by Sauce. Apparently he didn't, he popped off a Lucent Beam, so Sauce just did a really good time spell steal. But now, here comes the BKB popped out by Jing. The Luna did pop off her Aegis the Immortal, but did not BKB before the Song of the Siren came on out, so she will unfortunately not be able to pursue, and instead it's going to be the Capitalist that gets picked off by a vacuum, pulling them back in. Now they pop out the Sentry Ward, get a Shadow Strike onto Jing. It is not disjointed, but they do not have more Sentry Wards to pursue. Instead, looking at Chingu, who has been in the action for quite some time. The Rubik has fallen, the Warlock as well. So now Zhao Yun was able to pick off the Rubik right there. Oathkeeper does get stunned up by the Impale, and now the next Assassin pops off the Carapace to try to get on out of there. Malefist stun, but now beautiful vacuum coming on in. They need to do some real AoE cleave damage, but Robot's the one that gets picked up by the Ice Path and the Lucent Beam to follow. So they're going to be able to keep on pushing on this tower just a little bit more. All they need is a little bit more aggression to spend tooth and nail for this Tier 3 here. And good defense from TD, but their life is almost exhausted with the 40-second and 30-second cooldowns on Queen of Pain and Darkseer respectively. Wow. Now Eclipse is about to hit back up, and unless it can be stolen once more by the Rubik, that's going to be giving them a really bad time. Chingu back on full life and half mana with the bottle still fully available there, so we'll have to see. But just the Radiance giving enough counter push. Heart of Tarrasque almost available on Naga Siren. They want that so bad. They need that heart. And with it, they are only 250 gold away from it. So if they can just get out to the farm up a couple neutrals and get it out to that secret shop, they can actually get their carry some really, really good item. The Heart of Tarrasque obviously giving a lot of durability to the main hero, but also to the illusions, making them a lot more difficult to deal with. And from there, you can go an aggressive item involving illusions, such as a Diffusal Blade, and then from there, like a Manta style, to have some illusions on your illusions. But nevertheless, if there's any hero that's really good with dealing with illusion-based carries, it's going to be the Luna. She has that Moonglaive, bounces up to 5 times, and with that delivers a world of hurt in kind of an AoE cleave. So that's going to be rather effective. And all the same, I'm not sure about that. Sage's Mask could be looking for an Orchid or the latest Medallion of Courage you've ever seen in your life, but one way or another they are roaming around for the time being, but at the very least the Warlock was shown by the Observer Ward there, so they know what's what. Now they know which one's real, I believe. They're looking at Incarnate, and his illusions, though, it's very difficult to tell. So they pop off. They didn't pop off a Vendetta, but they did hit him pretty hard. Actually, I think that was a Vendetta pop, but it's on such a low cooldown at level 16 and the long duration that it doesn't really matter. He'll have that refresh in no time at all. One way or another, though, they're going to be looking to push up, because if there's one thing that if they can't gank, you might as well just put damage pressure out. They have the advantage. We've looked at this gold graph many times in a row, but 10,000 gold means a lot of really good items for your team. You know, Necronomicon 3, a couple of BKBs, Manta Styles, now an Eagle Song finished up for the Luna, who already has that Helm of the Dominator active, and they're going to be able to burn that tower no problem at all. So the tier 2 has fallen, and the Aegis the Immortal, the Roshan, will be available in 3 more minutes. So that's going to be really important. How Rubik has once again stolen track, and that's a pretty big deal if they can get some kills. But now the Song of Siren comes on through. They're going to be looking for Pickles to set up a big black hole. They're looking for the 2 in the back. They have to get the Warlock in this, because he does have that Golem, but he pops it off. The song ends. They go very aggressive. They're burning down. Crazy damage coming out of Oathkeeper. Just Queen of Pain just destroying everything, but Luna turns it around. BKB is popped. The Eclipse goes on through. Incarnate is going to take a fall. Now they're going to be looking for Oathkeeper. She has her blink available. Will she be able to get out of this? I'm not too sure. Trying to do a little bit of exchange on Jing, and with one blink scream in 4 seconds she might be able to, but no. She's going 1v3. No, she cannot handle this, and will fall back with that track up. Now pops out the Shadow Strike. Shouldn't be enough to burn him down, though. And she will blink away to safety, but that's still so many heroes to lose. They lost the Black Hole cooldown. They did everything they needed to. That was the team fight that they needed 15 minutes ago. They already have so few items, comparatively speaking, they can't do the damage during all that disable. They did exactly what they needed to do with the Song, with the Black Hole, with the Vacuum, and then with the Queen of Pain. But unfortunately, Queen of Pain is not level 16. She has no Aghanim Scepter. She doesn't even have her BKB. And with that, it's just a little too late. I mean, it's a really good use of the spells. It just needed to happen in a team fight 10 minutes ago at least. So, really good action, but it might just be too late. It's very difficult for them at this point in time. TD struggling to stay alive, but they do have the Heart of Tarrasque at the very least to keep that Naga Siren alive for quite a bit longer. Queen of Pain picks up a BKB, wants to try to turn things around with that. At least will be immune to the Eclipse. That's rather important there. But Luna has finished up her Butterfly. Doesn't have, or actually does have buyback money. Holy crap, this guy's farm. 9, 1, and 7, 282 last hits. Now sitting at a net worth of 21k. Manta Style, Butterfly, BKB, Dominator, Treads, and now buyback as well. He's going to be looking for a Satanic. Going to be looking at Boots of Travels, and then, I mean, there's great items. I mean, you can crit, you can MKB, really whatever you want as your final item. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is he is a really strong carrier right now. Looking at this massive auto attack damage, you're almost looking at 300 damage right there. And that bounces all over the place, does a heck of a lot of damage, and with this 35% evasion, they're not going to be able to auto attack him down during the BKB. They have to survive long enough for the BKB to expire in order to do anything to this guy. And I don't know if that's going to be an option. So pause comes on out. Not sure, does somebody DC? It doesn't look like it, but 1 sec required from Medic before they go on to try to finish the job here. Roche again in 1.5 minutes, and with that will possibly be the game. If they can get the Aegis on Luna, that I don't think there's anything TD can do. So there's going to be a really big contest for Roshan in the next couple of minutes, but one thing to mention is Dire's ward positioning. They know anybody coming towards that area. They're very preemptive about this. Warlock actually just placing that ward on the middle lane here, but anybody coming through this juncture here will be caught out, or at least seen coming, and with that the same will be coming from this here. So they have full vision of what's the enemy wants to do, and with that they can take Roche and with relative ease and know if the Song's coming. The big deal is they have to keep track of Naga Siren, since she can set up everything with that ultimate. Heck, you can even snipe Roshan, wait till it's like 20% HP, Song in, and just take it for yourself while they're asleep. But I'm probably not going to play the role of the Grinch here. Just gonna go and farm out for the time being, try to get a real item, like I said, Diffusal Blade for some damage. The Radiance is a great farming item, the Heart a great survivability item, but she doesn't really have any damage items, and that Diffusal Blade is what she needs to get things going. In the meantime, it looks like they're the pressure is continuous. I mean, the tier 2 towers have all fallen, so they're going to be looking at pushing uphill, but we saw how that worked last time around. It was very gradual, but TD are able to hold the line. If there's one thing in their name that's very true, it's tower defense. They've fought tooth and nail for these tier 3s, and they don't want to give them up without a giant fight. But Luna looking to push in now, and there will be only one more creep wave to stop them, and with the timing of it, they'll be able to kill the creep wave outside of the base, or just barely inside of it, and then look for a big fight here. Enigma doesn't have Black Hole for 35 seconds, and if they can start the fight before then, they can actually try to pick him off. Don't know what that telekinesis is about. Delaying a couple auto attacks I don't think would be worth the cooldown, but we'll see in just a moment's time what's going to be happening. Track goes out on Rubik. He's not able to steal it back. Definitely looking for it, but not at this point in time. Meantime, middle lane, Illusion versus Illusion battle. But it looks like the tier 3 is going to fall here. Tower defense cannot do anything to hold on to it. The fortification is on cooldown, and they need this black hole to fight. Enigma looking for it. He doesn't have the blink dagger, but he wants to use it as soon as possible. Now Incarnate back on the front line, but the Illusion, Mantis Style, and everything is enough. Now they are relatively grouped up. Here comes the Song of Siren. The black hole is available, going to pull in 3. This should be a huge massacre if they do it properly, ending it. But Oathkeeper pops off a beautiful sonic wave, as well as the Scream. The Golem does come out though, and the Luna Eclipse just destroying everything. Complete turnaround, decimation. I don't even know. They just have so much durability. The Warlock was able to do exactly what I was talking about. Finding them on the outside. Warlock was not in that. They found the Nyx. They found the everybody, but they weren't able to find the Warlock. And so with that, Golem comes out, the Disable, the Luna pops her BKB, and just goes to town with Mantis Style and Eclipse. So that's going to be a good game. Well played, called, and Genesis is going to take round 2 of the SECS 18.3. Going on to the next couple of rounds. Well played to them. I gotta say that Luna, although she carried extremely well, she had 23.8k net worth, her GPM of 783. On top of the ball, that's exactly where you want your carry to be, especially one that scales so well as Luna, but I still have to give a very honorable mention to Nyx Assassin, who ganked so effectively. 12, 2, and 10, put the fear in TD, put them on the back foot, and with that they were able to farm up so many items, get that gold advantage, and get the item advantage to knock down on their racks. Didn't even need the Aegis of the Immortal, just turned around that team fight with really good Warlock positioning, Capital staying on out and cancelling out that black hole. Really nice action there, and even with the black hole, they could not handle it. Looking at the levels, level 9, Rubik, level 12 and 13 for Darkseer, Queen of Pain, and Enigma, and the Naga Siren was the only one higher than that. So going up against levels 13s through 22, just not favorable. So they got out leveled, they got out farmed, and unfortunately they just didn't have the control over the map. So well played, but it's going to go to Genesis, and we're going to go on to the next game in just a moment's time. But thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a Blaze casting presentation. If you guys like my casting, you can check out my youtube.com/blazecasting channel. Subscribe to that if you want VODs for these kinds of tournaments as well as video guides. I'm going to be doing one this evening and in the future, so that'll be cool. And along with that, if you are watching on a VOD, check out my Twitch live stream channel, twitch.tv/blazecasting, and you can follow that as well to see when I'm broadcasting. So check it out, but thanks for tuning in. We'll go into the next game in just a moment's time. Thank you.